cheers to episode 50.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Blue Moon. I love this setup so much.
Water.
Powerade.
What flavor, Powerade?
Lemon lime.
Oh, baby. Tonight is Sunday, December 12th. 2 Sunday recordings in a row. Don't let the boys get hot and responsible. 7:09 p.m., 2021. And the Lions are now officially eliminated from the NFL playoffs. Evan is excited.
They lasted longer than a lot of other teams. Like 3 of them.
Really?
Yeah. Jets by like 5 minutes. There's an NFC team that I think got eliminated before us too, which makes no sense. But I saw some other team got eliminated before us. Can't remember who. Jags? That seems right.
Texans, probably.
Texans? That feels right too.
So now is your chance to, if you guys would like to pitch me to join one of your teams for the playoffs.
I'm a lone wolf. I would prefer you don't join my team.
I respect it.
My team's injury riddled, and we are the most inconsistent team, one of the most inconsistent teams. So I don't really know how I'm feeling about it.
Okay, so it looks
Are
like
you
I'll
jumping
be...
ship?
I'm not jumping ship. I'm just saying, okay, like Derrick Henry hasn't played since week 8. Do you really trust the Titans?
He's coming back before the regular season ends, apparently. I just saw that today.
Okay. Did he play today?
No.
Oh.
Did they win?
Yeah, they beat...
Well, that's all that matters, Evan.
They beat the Jaguars 20-0.
But once Derrick Henry's back, they're right back on track.
Don't know if it'd be 100%.
Alex, on your little Zoom meeting thing on where the mic is, if you hit the up arrow, does it say that your mic is the Yeti?
Yeah. Also, yours sounds kind of poopy to me, too.
Must be the Zoom. But don't worry, it'll sound fine in their individual recordings.
I wasn't going to say anything, but...
Well, you should. God, what if we went a whole show and none of us could hear each other?
Evan, you know you can attack your microphone if you want to. You can, like, put it on the camera. Doesn't matter.
I have limited desk room, so I can't.
Oh.
And he's also 50 shows deep. I mean, imagine telling a man...
I don't know. Just was wondering. Now, Grant and I are doing it, so I didn't know if Evan wanted to, too.
So to preview the show, I keep forgetting. You know how I said I should preview the show? I never do. We're going to have our weekly recaps, little brief Detroit Lions talk, Heisman results. That'll take up a chunk. The Michigan Bowl game, like view from above, like just quick hitters, storylines, because we still have like 2 weeks to break down the games. And then the main event probably of the show, a Christmas snake draft between us 3. It's been a minute since we've done a snake draft because usually we bring on a guest, but I was like, you know what? Forget all that noise. The 3 of us can run through one and still cover some fun topics. So, without further ado, our weekly recaps. Evan, how was your week?
Oh, let's see. I don't think I really did anything during the week.
No pressure, because this is some people's favorite part of the show.
Yeah, rumor has it people tune out after this. I don't think I did anything, nothing really that exciting during the week. Friday, went to the mall, got some gifts. Then drank a little bit Friday night, and then Saturday went to the basketball game. Had a white elephant and some drinking games, and got way too drunk. Woke up with a little hangover this morning. There was probably 10 of us, I think, hanging out. It was a very good time.
Very fun.
Friend had to stay over. He was too drunk.
Which one?
CO? Baseball Beast.
J-Dub?
J-Dub. I got the best prize and gave off some funny adult gifts.
Like, not safe for the pod gifts. Okay. I will say there were some funny Snapchats of you guys playing really loud music while people were just cashed on the couch. But that serves them right for falling asleep on the couch.
He's come over to my place the last 3 times and fallen asleep early on everybody. We're hanging out. He falls asleep early on everybody.
There was multiple people sleeping, though, I will say.
CO, J-Dub.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Well,
Those are the 2 I saw. It was funny, though, because it's just classic, like, you can sleep on the couch all you want, but we're still going hard, and you're going to hear the
we
music. Alex, would you like to tee up your week?
Yeah, sure. Not much during the week. Weekend was a little eventful. Woke up Saturday morning, got told I'm going to the basketball game in East Lansing.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
You never told me your experience with who you were going to see the game with. How did that go?
Didn't end up seeing that person. Ended up sitting in the upper deck student section with the other peeps. I guess I should back up. Friday, I hung out, watched some sweet fights. That was pretty fun, pretty enjoyable. Mainly just like 2 of them, and just watching a bunch of rednecks fight is hilarious. Mm-hmm. No offense to the rednecks.
Rough and rowdy for all those that don't know.
Yeah. And then Saturday morning, woke up, went to East Lansing for the Penn State basketball game. Went to that. Sitting in the upper deck in the Breslin Center. Haven't done it in a while. It sucks. Not being in the student section really sucks. Like, you don't realize how good it is in there until you're not in there. It's really terrible. After the game, I went to the same little Christmas party. I crashed Evan's party, really. I wasn't invited, but
True.
I crashed it. You know, got a cool gift. Got a little Step Brothers glass. Pretty cool. Almost broke it because I dropped the box and didn't know there was glass in there. Because it was wrapped in a Busch Light box. So
false. Twisted
tea box. So not great wrapping. Yeah, good time. I haven't already described that. Then on my way back, my transmission went out on the expressway while I was exiting.
The big T.
So, yeah, I was in a middle. So it was coming off the expressway, the exit, Evan, by like the Dick's Sporting Goods. That area, that exit. So there's 2 of the lanes turn left, the other one goes right. Was in the middle when it happened, of course. Couldn't get over because I was stopped. So I had to turn my car off, hit the hazards, turn my car back on, hope that it would go in drive. Turned it in, put it into drive. Felt like a violent car accident when I put it into drive. Just full shake of the vehicle. I'm like, oh, this is sweet. So then I got it to drive to the apartment I was going to. Then I was like, I can't drive this back to my apartment. I can't drive an hour and 10 minutes like this. It'll probably just go out again. So I had to crash at Grant's woman's house without Grant. So shout out me. And then I this morning had tried to drive it around the parking lot. Was running better than I expected. Drove it to the place where it's getting repaired. Shout out my grandparents, let me borrow their car. So I went to their house, took their car, and made it back to my apartment. They're letting me use it for a while.
Couple things on that sparked in my brain. One, you described the sensation when you put it back into drive after restarting it. And
Like a collision.
Like a car crash. What does it feel like? I'm going to knock on wood here. I've never been in a situation where my car just died on me, like mid-drive. What does that feel like?
Comical. Laughable.
Like, does it just slowly
that
go down?
stinks.
Does it slowly go down to 0 from whatever you're going?
I couldn't accelerate. So I was hitting the gas, just wouldn't go. And I was like, you can brake. I could still brake, thankfully, or I would have rammed into cars. So
you have call it a 20-something second window where you have to make a decision where to maneuver your car. So it's
So
not
I was
going
about
be...
to get over to the right lane, and there's a car right there in my blind spot. So almost did what you did in Detroit and hit that car on my right. Luckily, I did not.
Whoa, chill.
And then I was just stuck in the middle. It was a red light, thankfully. So I had a few seconds of time to try to figure something out. And put it in park, turned it off, put it in drive. Felt like someone rear-ended me. It was just my gear shifting, and then I went on.
And then was there any part of you, because I know this thought would go through my brain when you were taking victory laps in the parking lot this morning, that was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep driving this thing until it happens again.
There was a thought. I was like, maybe I could make it.
Yes.
But that's just not the smart thing. Like, what am I going to do if it goes out on the expressway? And now I'm in the middle of where I know a bunch of people in East Lansing area and then my apartment. But if I get stuck in the middle, I'm not going to have as many options. And then I'm going to have to pay for a super expensive tow truck, and that's going to be much worse. So
yeah,
I just bit the bullet and didn't do it. Also, my power steering went out in the parking lot when it happened that night. So then I was trying to park, and I, cranking with all my might. That was great.
Good thing you work out, man.
Super eventful.
That is tough. Definitely probably the worst week of anyone on the show so far.
I had a pretty good week, but you just can't let those things get you down. Christmas season.
For me, speaking of getting down, this week I was under the weather all week. Still getting over it. A shout out, NyQuil. Never fails. One of the best over-the-counter drugs in the history of mankind. That thing will just it's like Vicodin light. It just makes you feel so fluffy and nice in your bed, and you wake up feeling great when you wake up. Problem is you're in a haze for a couple hours. Best thing I saw all week, not to rip off Scott Van Pelt segment, what Alex alluded to, Rough and Rowdy. Want to give a shout out to Big Booty Daddy was the fighter's name. The guy was about as weird as you would think that name is. He's like this jacked 40-ish-year-old dude who was had no hair on his body and a fake tan, but he just beat the brakes off of this dude in an amateur boxing match and did one of the best. Two punches, 2 knockouts. And he did the most disrespectful celebration dance over this guy's lifeless body at the time, and then had one of the most electric post-fight interviews of all time. So if you're ever bored, go to Rough and Rowdy Twitter, scroll down till you see it's going to be one of the top videos. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And I guess he's going to be fighting another dude later, so I'm probably going to have to tune into that. Alex legitimately stood off the couch on his feet, drink in hand, oh my God, I can't believe I just watched that.
It was pretty sweet. Evan, I'm going to send it to you right now so you can take a look.
I'm pretty sure I already know what clip it is.
Yeah, I mean,
It
everyone's
is funny.
so good.
Just in case you didn't see it.
Also, have been getting Christmas shopping done this week. So, RIP to the credit card statement, the bank account balance, getting all that stuff done. You forget how quick that adds up. And then lastly, I have a question for you guys. Is it a crazy move to buy a pillow on the internet without testing it out first?
No, I have done it.
Man, you have to know what pillow you want, what type of pillow you want, but I wouldn't buy a pillow online.
I'm scared too.
Unless you're super desperate for it.
Yeah, and it's not it's not like a pillow you just hold on to or between your knees. It's a legit, I'm going to try to buy a new pillow for my head that I'm going to use every night, and I don't really want to go to a pillow store and test them out. I just want to pull the trigger, and I just don't know if that's a bad move. But Alex, you've done it, so how did it work out for you?
Worked out really well. I just don't like flat pillows, so it wasn't that difficult to find a pillow that wasn't flat. And I don't love Tempur-Pedic pillows; they're a little too firm for me. So I just bought a normal feather pillow, and I looked at the pictures, and it didn't look flat, and it came, and it wasn't flat. It worked out really well.
A show like ours, struggling, desperate to get a sponsor, you just go ahead and cut Tempur-Pedic out of the running. Tough.
Yeah, I mean, I would take them though.
Okay, all right.
But no, it's a no for me.
All right, so good recap there. Let's move to the Lions. My only question, really, obviously they got killed by the Broncos. Is this the least dialed into a Lions season you've ever been?
No.
Really?
This is how most seasons go for me, honestly. I mean, there was a couple years there with Stafford that we were competitive for a little while. But, lately, and then before that, yeah, it was always like this. This is a dumpster fire franchise, Grant. But what do you expect? Super Bowls?
No, but I'm just saying, since the Stafford era started, this is probably, I've seen the least amount of snaps of line football in my life this season. I genuinely don't really watch them, and I don't go later in the week to see what I missed. I don't have any pulse really on the team, and which is kind of bad admitting that we do this show, but I simply don't care about them. And they're like, it's almost to the, you know how people say like being indifferent about something is the most disrespectful thing or the worst place to be. I'm indifferent about the Lions. I don't hate them. I don't like them this season. I just simply don't care really what they do. And
I think I watched significantly less the last 2 years.
Even with Stafford, like I would at least watch games. Like I remember when David Blau started on Thanksgiving, I still wanted to see that and enjoyed watching it. This Thanksgiving, I didn't really tune in. Again, there was a power outage on my Thanksgiving, but like I didn't really care to see what they were doing this whole season. Except for when they played, I checked out after they lost to the Packers on that Monday night game. I watched all that game. I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, I thought this team was scrappy. And then the rest of it, I don't really care. What about you, Evan?
Yeah, care level is probably at a 0.5 out of 10. Just no interest, and there's nobody excites us. I mean, Hawkins didn't play, Swift didn't play, Jamal Williams didn't play, Tracy Walker didn't play. It's just, when you have guys out there that you don't know who they are and you don't think deserves to be on an NFL roster playing for your team, it's just tough. You're 1-10. Cool, we won last week, but it's just snooze fest. The fact that we had to wait till 4 o'clock to like attempt to watch it is even worse. Because everybody was like, just get it over with. Just get it over with. Play at 1 o'clock no matter what. Just get it over with.
I love 1 o'clock games when your team's bad. The Lions, you said,
which is always.
I forget what you just described it as. The Lions are a wet fart. That's what they are. Maybe not even a wet fart. Maybe just a dry fart.
Dry, stinky cheddar fart.
Maybe even no stink because there's nothing reactionary to them. They're just a puff, a odorless puff.
What's your care level 1 to 10, Grant?
1.
So I want them to lose every single game.
I was going to say my care level is 2 out of 10 because I'm caring that they lose. Spin zone.
I want them to lose every single game. I was a little upset that they actually did win last week. It was
they
cool
had to
that
win
St.
one,
Brown. I was cool that St. Brown caught the game-winning pass, but like this week,
yeah. What are the odds?
Matter.
The odds the one Sunday, the 1 week we recorded before a Lions game, they win. That was just kind of ironic as well. Now the last thing about the Lions is just our very early, very premature. Any guys that you now that the college football season's over, essentially, any guys you're like, hey, I really would like us to draft that guy.
Are we saying at the number 1 pick only, or just
no?
Like
I didn't even consider the number 1 pick because I know if I say Hutchinson, I'm just going to get stabbed with a fork by both of you.
Yes, you will.
I wrote down 10 players.
Wow.
I'm not going to scout them. I'm just going to read them. Thibodeau,
Okay.
Hutchinson, Kyle Hamilton, Devin Lloyd, Olave Wilson and David Bell, Sauce Gardner, and then Matt Corral and Kenny Pickett.
Did you say Sauce Gardner?
It's not his real name, but everyone calls him Sauce Gardner. Yeah.
I've never heard of this guy.
That's his nickname, Sauce Gardner. He's Cincinnati corner. He's never given up a touchdown.
Oh, okay, I know who that is. I didn't know he was called Sauce. That's sweet.
Yeah, he's sweet. I want him.
With the first pick, like go top 3 to
Nope,
Jeff Okudah.
I didn't say that. I just said players I would want. Those guys.
Evan, your guys.
I wrote down 2 right away.
God, this Zoom is so shitty today.
I wrote down Thibodeau and Kyle Hamilton.
Oh, no. Oh. Nice. Kyle Hamilton, they showed a picture of him, I think, because he opted out and this pictures of him circled. He looks sweet. He's like 6'4" as a safety or something like that.
Yeah, he's badass.
But I guess we do need safety help.
Grant, we need everything.
I'll go. So you guys went kind of mix of defense. Alex, you did everything. Evan, you went defense. So that's perfect. I went receivers. I don't know when we're going to grab them, but either of the OSU guys I would take, David Bell and Jahan Dotson, if we want to go value in the second round.
So the Big Ten wideouts.
Yeah, I like that. I'm a Big Ten biased guy. I haven't done my deep dive, but initial thoughts into this is those guys. And then I also am going to say now on December 12th, I'd like to grab a QB in this draft with one of our picks because I don't think you can afford to waste years taking a chance on a guy when you have our current QB situation. No offense to Jared Goff.
Corral or Pickett, who do you guys like better?
Sam Howell.
Or Howell. I knew Evan was still on.
I just haven't
Howell.
watched enough of them, to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Hand up, I don't know.
All right.
I'll have more answers down the line. So we shift to college football now. The Heisman results, the Heisman ceremony, a lot of drama going into this ceremony and coming out of this ceremony. I'll briefly touch on the ceremony itself and what happened, and then we can get into the snub of the millennium leading into the ceremony. So itself, I think, so this was probably going on when you guys were doing your white elephant, so you may not have had like the volume on or anything, but the ceremony itself was extremely awkward. It made me like, you know, when you feel like secondhand embarrassment for something and your body gets warm and you kind of sweat a little bit. That happened to me just watching this ceremony. It was super weird. I don't know if you guys have seen the clip, but people listening probably have. It's just they did this like little monologue, almost like it was like the Emmys, where they brought everyone out and they teed up, like Tim Tebow did this really weird thing with like, oh, Desmond, I know you're dying to ask Hutchinson the first question because you guys are Michigan men. Go ahead and ask him what you want to ask him. Like, this is super weird. And then he asked him like, what were your goals or like being here, Hutchinson? And Hutchinson just basically stated like, yeah, our goal was to come back. We had a mission to win the Big Ten East and beat Ohio State. And like he kept going, and then there was this like pause, and people kind of started like giggling, and then Desmond like pointed at CJ Stroud, and it just got super.
Just watched it. So awkward.
It just got weird. Like it got weird, and then Tebow jumps in and it's like, oh, thank goodness Kenny's between those two to like stop it. And then that's when Howard made his joke like, oh, better than their offensive line, Kenny Pickett, like being in between them two. And it's like,
Stroud looked pissed.
Yeah, to sum up from this as a Michigan fan, I gained more respect for CJ Stroud out of it, and I also don't think any blame should be given to Hutchinson, because he was like, he's not like a mean kid like that. He was just simply stating what their goals were, and obviously being Ohio State is one of those goals. He didn't mean it in a mean way, because they had been hanging out the whole weekend, so like him and Hutchinson were like cool. Like he's not trying to diss Stroud on national TV. It was like Howard and Tebow like making it awkward, like laughing like kids in the crowd laughing that he said Ohio State. It's like, okay, like I get it. But, and to be honest, what Desmond Howard said wasn't factually incorrect. It was like, it was a jab, but like CJ Stroud's offensive line was like cheeks in that game. So it's not like he's like saying anything mean about it.
He didn't need to say any of that.
No. And you could tell Hutchinson was awkward. He's like, okay, that's enough. And then they moved on. So like credit to the kids the students in that situation for being more mature than the hosts. But I think they're trying to, ESPN's like, come on, like get into the rivalry banter. Cause turns out this was the first time a Michigan player and OSU player had made the Heisman finalists in the same year. And I think it's probably for the best if it never happens again, because it's super weird. And they just like force, because that game's just been played when this happens. And like even Holly Rowe was like asking when they were doing their tour around New York about like, oh, like, are you still banged up from that game? Like CJ, like Hutchinson was just tackling you like 2 weeks ago. And it's like, dude, what are we doing? Like, I know you have to talk about it, but it's just weird. And then also on top of the awkwardness was just like, the way they seated the coaches. Ryan Day and his whole family was like one row in front of Harbaugh. Harbaugh was right behind them, and they interview each coach after they do their slide of the kids. And I'm just thinking like how awkward it has to be. Are we like, we're convinced, right, that like Day and Harbaugh probably don't even speak to each other that whole weekend or like say anything to each other?
Probably not.
Like you think about
they probably hate each other.
The comment Harbaugh just made after the game, and then you're sitting one row, like looking at the guy's neck that you like chopped on a press conference. Like that is so weird. The one thing I will say is like there are a lot of OSU fans on like, on the timeline, on the Twitter timeline, that are just being really soft about it and like, oh, thanks for the bulletin board material. It's like, yeah, like both programs give each other bulletin board material all the time. And like, I'll just read the one that Desmond Howard like responded to. This guy's username is so funny. His name on Twitter is Assman, and his handle is @HolyBuckeye02. He responded to Desmond Howard. He goes, "Thanks for tonight. The bulletin board material is really piling up for Scum's visit to the shoe next season. Parentheses, if they don't COVID quit, ... again." And then Desmond just quotes and he goes, "What position do you play, ass man?" So it's just funny. I made up a new hashtag from listening to foreplay podcast. I like listening to that. And a lot of times they'll go, if a good storyline happens, like Bryson versus Brooks, the beef, they'll go, this is hashtag good for golf. Well, I'm going to say this whole exchange is just hashtag good for the rivalry. That's all it is. Like, you can get mad about it. You can think it's nothing. But at the end of the day, this kind of stuff is good for the rivalry. And that's what rivalries are. And we knew it was going to be chippier. Now Michigan finally won because it hadn't been much of a rivalry before then. So that's all my thoughts on it. I rambled there, but did you guys have any thoughts about the Michigan-Ohio State stuff?
It's just super awkward. I just watched it like 10 minutes ago. And yeah, it was terrible. I wish I didn't watch it.
Dude, it's so bad.
It's like one of the worst like moments of TV. Like it's just so weird. And then Tebow gets involved. He's like giggling. Yeah, it's terrible. So it was really awful. Stroud looked like he was genuinely pissed off to the point where he was going to like throw a fist.
It was
like,
either punches or crying, and it was one of the
two. He looked very mad. And so I'm really glad I didn't watch it. Mm-hmm. Didn't need to. Kenneth wasn't there.
Just ESPN trying to do way too much, and then you put Desmond Howard, who's never hosted anything in his life, in a position to try to get something out of it, and he's already bad enough on game day, so he shouldn't even been up there in the first place. And then Desmond, during it, like, obviously something's going to be said of those, like, the rivalry, but just afterwards, like, Desmond, like, defending himself, I thought was, like, idiotic. Like, I get that you said you're sorry, but then him just continue to, like, defend himself is, like, people need to get less soft and understand it's just all good fun, and me and CJ Stroud are cool. It's like, I'm sure you guys aren't, but, yeah, whatever you have to say, he gets through it.
I don't think so, Desmond.
I'm sure Stroud probably would like took the high road and just like, yeah, we're good. I understand it, but really deep down, Stroud probably hates him.
Yeah,
I think Stroud's more mature than Desmond Howard is.
Facts,
very obviously.
I think we can.
I've never liked Desmond Howard though, so I could be completely biased here.
Well, that's an interesting point of this, Alex. I was thinking like a lot of people are like, oh, why is Desmond Howard like involved so much in this? Like he's clearly one of the biased media people, and he is. And so it's almost like a lot of blame, like Evan said, has to be put on just ESPN because they knew what they were doing. Like you could have Fowler do the whole thing, or even involve Kirk Herbstreit because he's like the most unbiased guy who played at Ohio
anybody
State.
Better than Desmond Howard wouldn't be hard to find.
Yeah, and like I'm not gonna fault Desmond for being biased, like because that's his choice. Like I'm going to be an analyst and I'm going to be biased for my team. But you have to know if you're the producer at ESPN, like, hey, but the thing is they want this to happen. So it's like they just put him in a situation where it's going to be tough for him to bite his tongue. But I will say if Tim Tebow hadn't have jumped in and made it even more weird, he probably doesn't get off that O-line comment. So Tebow was a little too giddy too. I was like, dude. Also, there's something that feels weird. That felt weird when they bring the old Heisman guys back. It feels like when you were a college kid and you came back to high school and like hung out with high schoolers in a way, like you just kind of come to the parties. Cause like it was funny. They talked about all the Heisman people that were back. And then the only one from the 2010s was Robert Griffin. I was like, God, how much of a loser do you think Robert Griffin feels? Cause like all the other Heismans are out playing in the NFL, can't come to this ceremony. And he's just like back like, what's up guys? I won the Heisman. Heisman's weird. I'm kind of out on it. I'm sure you guys are too, because Kenneth Walker.
We don't really need to get into it. It's pretty clear. It's a media award. There's tons of media bias all the time. Look at the finalists, other than Kenny Pickett, which, he's a rarity because Pitt's not a big brand. But, Kenneth Walker should have been there. I'm not going to sit here and complain. I've done enough of that all week. So, yeah, he should have been there. I don't think this is a Michigan versus Michigan State thing either. So,
agreed.
Mikey, 4-2, whatever your numbers are. I don't think that Walker should have been there over Hutchinson or vice versa. I think Walker should have been there no matter what. And it's just strictly like that guy is a great person, great player, one of the best in the country, should have been there. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I know the timing sucks because they announced the finalists like that Sunday when we recorded in the morning, so it feels like we've exhausted it. But I had to let you guys get a rant ready if you wanted to, talk about it. So, Evan, do you have any firm thoughts for the Heisman
I'd like
voters?
Evan to go in on it if you want.
You want me to go in on it?
I haven't. You have honestly been very quiet in all the chats about it.
Why don't you go in on it though? Like I know
because
you feel
Evan
mad
hasn't
about
given his thoughts yet. Really, all
because I didn't want to exhaust my energy towards something that I knew was already going to happen.
Also knew.
Obviously, did I know that? Did I think Kenneth Walker deserved to be there? Yes. Do I think Hutchinson deserved to be there? Probably not. No. And the only reason Hutchinson got to go was because of the jersey color that he wore throughout the entire season. Because if you take Kenneth Walker, put him on Michigan, basically just flip flop the two, Kenneth Walker would have already won the Heisman if he was wearing Michigan colors. And Hutchinson would barely even be top prospect in the NFL draft. And that's not it. And then you compare, most valuable player. Hutchinson, he's arguably the best player on the defense, but is he as valuable to his team as Kenneth Walker is? And I know it's not the Michigan State Michigan thing. I think both of them sure deserve to be there. But then you look at it and you're like, okay, Alabama defensive end, I think Williams, I butchered the name yesterday. He had better stats. And then be like, oh, he back half to
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson, see. Butchering names. He had better stats. So at one point do we eventually just quit giving credit towards like the media people? And then you have stats to back it up that he won the Walter Camp and Doug Walker Award, and he's the first Walter Camp person to ever not be invited as a finalist at the Heisman Trophy.
Which is absurd.
And I knew like Kenneth Walker wasn't going to win it. I just feel like he deserved to be there. Like I knew Bryce Young was going to win it based off of what he did the last 2 weeks.
I do think Bryce Young is like a worthy winner.
And then everybody wants to argue like, oh, but if Kenneth Walker just did well against Ohio State, and okay, that argument could you discredit one game for Kenneth Walker, then you should discredit one game for Hutchinson, and the number one game is when they faced each other. Hutchinson should get discredited for the Michigan State
Kenny
game.
Pickett losing to Western Michigan.
So Kenny Pickett deserved to be there because he's another player on Pitt that Pitt is lucky to go 7-5 without him.
You're frozen.
Yeah, it's weird because like I've never read the exact definition of the Heisman Award. I don't know if they say it's just like how sweet you are, or it's like the whole most valuable to your team award. I think we all can agree there probably should be more finalists. Like, why not give 5 or 6 kids the chance to have of a lifetime to like go be invited? I mean, with all the BS they did in the beginning of the show, they could definitely fit in a couple more montages for 2 more kids. I mean, it's an hour show; you can squeeze it in. So it's weird. It's like, I think both of them should have gone. If I had to remove one from it, I would say C.J. Stroud, even though I think he's a good quarterback. It's just like, when you talk about the most valuable, I mean, you could plug in one of their 3 backup 5-stars, and they probably could have had similar. They could have lost. They could have gone 10-2 like they did with a backup. So it's like it gets in a weird spot. My only sense that I was trying to look today, like why didn't, because like you guys with the Walter Camp, it even gets crazier. I'm pretty sure the Walter Camp winner has never even finished lower than 2 in the final Heisman voting.
Most of the time they win the Heisman Trophy.
And so I'm looking through like stats and just whatever I could come up with for like why he wasn't even invited. And I'm not saying I agree with these theories, but the only theories I can think of is, one, I think we all know Heisman moments that gets talked about all the time. I think it matters, and I think his probably came a little bit too early for like the standard media voter, which is, I don't know, that it comes earlier. But yes, obviously, if he would have had a massive game against Ohio State, he's invited to New York. The other thing too is I think what ended up hurting him is that, for better or worse, the Central Michigan running back Nichols ended up being a rushing category leader in most of the categories, whereas Kenneth was dominating all the rushing categories throughout the whole year until the end there because of injuries he sustained. And I think like if Kenneth was the yards leader, like touchdowns leader, they would have still invited him. But I bet like the Joe Schmo from Pac-12 land looked at it and goes, oh, Kenneth Walker's not even the most yards in the country. Why would I invite him to New York?
I think that's a terrible argument.
I agree.
Because the Central Michigan running back had like 65 more carries to begin with.
100%. It's just, you look at it and there were some guys that caught up to some of Kenneth's stats that he was dominating the whole first half of the year. And we talk about all year how if they had involved him more in the pass game and he had more all-purpose yards, like the catching, that could give him a bump too. But like I think all those things are just like lazy ways that media people can discredit him. And this is all to the point Evan kind of briefly mentioned, is that the 3 of us are much smarter than any Heisman voter, and I'll stand by that.
It's a joke.
And this is why when we joke that we're unbiased national media reporters, we're not joking. We're serious, because a lot of these guys
These Joe Schmoes don't watch football.
They don't watch as much as us. They have families. They have kids. We don't have families and kids. We have time to watch stupid games that we don't need to be watching.
It's actually a joke.
Yeah. Sucks.
The fact that some of the people that have Heisman votes is actually laughable.
Dude, there was like 12 people that voted for Breece Hall to finish second in Heisman voting. When you looked at the final ballots, like 12 people voted him to finish second. Breece Hall. What are we doing?
Also, the Walter Camp is voted by coaches who watch a lot more football than media members. So maybe that's a difference.
Maybe that's a tell. To stay on, as if you guys don't have anything else, to stay on the Michigan State train here, we're going to do a high-level summary, like I said, of the bowl game. Alex actually, in his hungover state, actually nailed that they would be playing in the Peach Bowl. He did think it could be Michigan State, Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. That was incorrect, but he also threw out the Peach Bowl against Pitt. That did happen. My only thoughts, really, first thoughts are just Peach Bowl, sweet bowl to be in. Peach, something about the peach is just fun to say. We're playing in the peach.
I wrote down two things. Cool uniform matchup. I like the colors of both schools.
Great uniform matchup. Fantastic uniform matchup.
I think it'll look really great. And then second, two should have been Heisman finalists. So like two of the top players in the country in the same game if they both play. And then that's my third. Will they play? I don't know. I think Kenneth Walker will. I apparently will find out about Kenny Pickett this week.
He did tease that in the Heisman show. He was asked point blank. He said, we'll find out this week. And then everyone giggled.
Initial reaction, as soon as it got announced, I said, I'm going. Confirmed, am going. Will be in Atlanta. And a little more biased that we actually do get to play Pitt. I'm excited for it since a friend of the podcast, Luke, is a big Pitt fan. And then it's like two under the radar. Rivalry. Yeah, two like under the radar teams going into this year. So it's kind of nice. And then the whole Pat Narduzzi facing his former team didn't come back here when we offered him that coaching job. There's that whole notion. And then I hope Kenny Pickett plays, but I understand why he doesn't. I just want to see like if our defense improved against like an NFL caliber quarterback.
Evan's a man of competition. He does want Kenny Pickett to play.
Yeah, who wouldn't want him to play? It'd be a way cooler matchup.
Any puddle people would probably want him to sit out.
You don't want some hit backup you've never heard of.
Penny Kickett.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah, the Narduzzi storyline I had written down too. And the question to you guys, who is Mark D'Antonio rooting for in this game?
I think Michigan State, pretty obviously.
Obviously?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it a win-win for Mark D'Antonio? Because his bro
I'm
for
guessing
life.
he'll be at the game.
Oh, he's going to be on the sideline of both teams. He's going to switch at half.
Whoever's winning at halftime, that's the colors he's putting on.
He'll probably be at the Cincinnati playoff game, too. He's a Cincinnati guy, too. Look at Mark. He's all over these New Year's Six games this year.
Dude, he wants back in the biz so bad.
He's going to be the DC at somewhere.
There's going to be a post-game pic of Mel on one shoulder, like just in Mark's in the middle of him and Narduzzi with their arms around each other. I guarantee it. Maybe not.
A sweet pick.
Evan, you think he's rooting for State, right? Or do you think Pitt?
I think he's rooting for Michigan State.
All right.
Hopefully.
The program that Mark D built. Is there any smoke, Alex Blog Boy, of MSU players sitting?
No. Well, Kenneth Walker's the only questionable guy, but the Michigan State football Twitter account, equipment manager account, tweeted a picture of a Kenneth Walker jersey with a Peach Bowl patch on it under a Christmas tree.
See, that's the kind of hard-hitting analysis we need.
Which felt like that means Kenneth will be playing. But I do believe that will be his last game in the green and white.
Are we the home team?
Yeah, confirmed home team.
Okay, but then how do you know what uniforms we're going to wear?
Oh, man.
We're wearing our home greens.
Just because they put it that picture up doesn't mean we're wearing those.
I'm just going to guess it's a bowl game. We're not going to get wacky with the uniforms, and we're just going to wear regular green home uniforms.
Not get wacky. You guys have like a different set every single game.
We might wear a different helmet. I just think we'll wear the green jersey. We're not going to break out a black jersey for a bowl game.
I wish that Pitt... I wish Pitt could wear like the blues. That would be my all-time matchup.
Green versus blue would be sweet.
I don't think they'll do it though because of like colorblind stuff. Like you just can't.
I think I could tell the difference in that because of the gold.
I hope they do that, but I don't think they will. I think they'll do like the white, but because that would be the ideal matchup.
Blue pants, at least.
No, it's not wearing blue. They always wear yellow pants.
I've seen him wear blue pants. Can't confirm that. It just feels like I have.
I can't confirm either. Michigan's bowl game. So it's Georgia in the Orange Bowl, as we expected. The only note I have for this is there was some early drama in this game already with the sense of Gaddis almost left for Virginia. Josh Gaddis, offensive coordinator at Michigan, almost left for Virginia, but they ended up hiring Clemson's offensive coordinator instead. And then the Georgia defensive coordinator, Lanning, is confirmed the next head coach of Oregon, but he will coach in the bowl game. So nothing really, you can't really read into that. Like people are like, oh, will that impact the locker room? No, probably not, because he's an adult, and those guys are basically all grown adults that play for him. They're not going to be mad, and he's staying with them for the game. So it's kind of basically what we touched on that hungover morning about both teams are similar. And I've been thinking that I'm a little bit more nervous and worried that Georgia lost, so they're going to come out with stuff to prove. I think maybe Michigan could knock them off if they were all high and mighty, undefeated still. But when they lost, they got humbled, and now I think they'll be coming out even with more of a chip on their shoulder to prove, to get that another shot at Alabama, and Michigan is simply just a roadblock in their way, is what I would think going into the game now.
As a uniform guy, what pants is Michigan going to wear? I believe they'd be the home team, right? They're the higher seed.
I would bet Michigan would wear all blues if I had to bet.
All right.
Because
you're not a fan of the all blues, right?
No.
You're a blue-yellow guy?
I thought you just didn't like the white blue.
I didn't like the wearing all blue in the Ohio State game. Because I wanted both teams just to wear their tradition rivalry uniforms.
Right. I think this game would be better if Georgia was the home team for the red.
If Georgia was red and Michigan was white maize, I'd like that. But I know you guys don't like those maize pants.
No.
Just yellow, just girly for me. I don't know. Both schools have a chance to raise a bowl of fruit in terms of Michigan and Michigan State.
That's huge, Alex. That's what people come to this show for.
The hard-hitting analysis, I'm providing it.
And then the only stat of analysis I'm bringing to this game is a tweet I saw and I liked. Just trying to get in a habit of liking things on our Twitter to see if they'll be important for the show. Brock Bowers, the freshman tight end for Georgia, he has 6 touchdown catches of 20-plus yards this season. That is the most by any Power 5 tight end since 2014. So Brock Bowers, get to know his name if you're a Michigan fan. He's going to be in your shiz all night.
My initial reaction was, does Georgia want to win a national championship this year? And if they do, they should play JT Daniels instead. Mm-hmm. If they don't want to win a national championship, then go ahead with Stetson Bennett.
I did write down for both schools, a quarterback change could benefit them in this game.
We could see 4 quarterbacks used in this game, and not because of injury. Just carousel, baby.
It's a realistic possibility.
Evan and I did, because you were... I think our friends at Knit and Money talk badly about JT Daniels. I think
they hate him.
They don't like one of them.
At the beginning of the year. They hate him.
I went back and watched one of his games where he played, and you're right. He does throw outside the numbers. JT Daniels confirmed can throw outside the numbers. I haven't seen a ton of either. I know they've looked good at times, but I think there's some merit there to be like, okay, is JT Daniels our best chance to win if we want to air it out? So I am curious to see what they do. I wonder how that's going in the locker room with Kirby Smart. I don't really know. I have no idea.
Yeah, unless like JT Daniels is injured and just nobody knows about it, because that's when Stetson Bennett came in. They just kept him in and haven't replaced him. Unless he's injured, but other than that, like I just don't understand why he's not in there.
It could be just, we won all our games with Stetson Bennett. It's hard to bench a guy that hasn't lost. Now we lost. Door might be open.
Should be open.
I'm rooting for JT Daniels to play. Not that I care who wins the game.
Yeah, like your quote.
I'm hoping JT Daniels goes in.
Alex would rather the Red Wings never win a cup.
I'm not rooting for anybody, though.
Alex would rather never have the Red Wings win a cup again than Michigan win.
Did I say that on the podcast?
It's a quote. We made a quote graphic. Evan said he turned his phone off for a week.
Oh.
Yeah.
He said he'd ghost.
Oh, wow. Rashad Perriman, shout out former Detroit Lion.
Dude, he's back with the Bucks.
Game-winning touchdown in overtime for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That game ended up in overtime?
Yeah, Josh Allen put on a furious comeback.
Oh, wow.
Rashad Perriman, the little Detroit Lion that did not play a snap this year, ended it.
He's sweet with the Bucks. So shout out Wyatt Camus. Whoa. Shout out Wyatt.
Whoa, even though everybody knows Evan's last name because it's printed all over our bios. So.
Shout out Wyatt.
Wyatt is Evan's brother.
For making the fantasy football playoffs and for me for missing.
Drew still has to beat me for that to happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some reverse mojo here. Okay.
Actually, no, we'll talk about it after the podcast.
For the last topic here, the main event, I would call it, of this show, the Christmas snake draft. It is December 12th. It's a little early, but it's Christmas season. You know, we're in full flow here, and the next couple weeks are going to get back more to sports. Don't worry, for people that are worried, we will have full game breakdowns of the bowl games, probably like not next week, but the week after, like the week right before the games. We'll go in depth on them. But now I think is the best time to get the Christmas stuff not out of the way, but give it some love. So how we're doing this, for those that are unfamiliar with the snake drafts, it's 5 categories. Best Christmas movie, or you just pick one of these. It doesn't mean best, you just pick one. Christmas movies, but it's the best to you. Christmas movie, Christmas song, Christmas tradition or activity, Christmas gift, as like when you were a kid, kind of that range of like what were the sweetest gifts to get when you were a child, and then Christmas food and or drink. And you can pick them in any order. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. Let me get the random number generator up to decide how we're doing this puppy. Do 1 through 3. Evan is the top on my screen. He'll be 1. I'm 2. Alex is 3. Generate 3. Alex, your pick of where you'd like to draft.
I'll go second.
Alex is second. We'll generate again. 2 for me. I will go third. I'll put the pressure on Evan. I know that makes him an uncomfortable spot
really
sometimes.
Didn't want to pick first, so
this stinks.
I had no idea what I would go with first, honestly. Remember, any category is fair game, snake order. Alex, don't let us get lost in the snake.
You got it.
All right. Christmas activity is going to be my first pick.
Oh.
It's probably a lame one, but I do it every single year. It's kind of a tradition. It's baking and decorating Christmas cookies.
All right. Big baker, Evan Cadmus.
Yeah.
Baker Cadmus.
Shout out to you for doing that, Evan. That might be the worst first pick in snake draft history.
Why? Like, because all the other ones, like, there's so many other options. Like,
honestly, I think all of our whole teams here can't be bad. Like, there's a lot of stuff you could pick. Honestly, I hated that category. I don't even know what to do for that one. So
I think the food and drink one.
You're Grant. You're keeping track of this, right?
Yeah. And the good thing is that this audio gets posted, like, so I can always go back and listen if I don't write it down.
You're so smart. Second pick.
Eggnog. Whoa, no spoiling picks. I'm sorry.
Whoa, dude, you're giving away my.
Whoa.
I don't really like eggnog, so I'll go with food drink. Hot chocolate will be my my first pick.
With that whipped cream.
Yeah, and if you're feeling saucy, you can put some.
I didn't even have it in my rundown. I totally forgot about hot chocolate. Didn't even have it up here.
Do you not like hot chocolate?
No, I really do enjoy hot chocolate. I just totally forgot about it.
Did you guys know that hot chocolate is sometimes served at like 170 degrees Fahrenheit?
That is not something I knew.
That's why you
burn my tongue every single time I drink.
The roof of your mouth, like everything going down. Yeah.
I was going to spoil it, but you guys know that one song from that one Christmas movie that will not be named where it's like, hot, 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 hot chocolate, hot, 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 hot chocolate?
No.
Oh. Ooh, that feels bad. Okay. The third pick, me. So, what do we do? Okay. Activity. I'm going to go with food and drink as well, just because it's the thinnest category in my opinion, and one's already been taken. I'm going to take the Christmas entree prime rib. I'm going to nail that. I'm taking it.
You took that from me earlier. I told you that.
I had it written down. You mentioned it, and I acted coy and shy about it because that was my number one.
I was gonna say you acted like ham was the number one entree, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I threw the old curveball at Alex. I was like, "What about ham?"
So
Forget ham.
So prime rib would have been 1-1 for you if you were picking first.
No, I probably
What
would
would you have
like,
selected number one overall?
I can't give away picks, dude. I got
All
stuff
right.
left.
Back to
Me. I just
You,
know
yeah.
the reason I would do song, but my no one's gonna know my song. It's like not even on Spotify. I'll play it
songs
for you.
last.
So I was like,
No
I
one's
just
picking
can
mine.
save that. And I don't think you guys like the movie I do. So now I'm gonna go tradition activity opening presents.
Seems like a good one.
Yeah, I didn't want to overthink it there. Who doesn't love waking up and just opening presents?
I think most people enjoy it.
And I know the act of like giving a gift and watching them open it is sweet when they're excited, but dude, let's just all be on the trust tree here. Opening presents is sweet. You can keep your giving gifts.
All
Alex.
right, to me, I'll go tradition as well because I only have one other one written down. So I'm gonna wait. I haven't already gave his, so I don't have to give it.
Correct.
Movies is just such a deep category. I don't feel the need to go there either.
But what if yours gets stolen?
I'll just do my tradition. I don't really care. We're not even having to vote on this. It doesn't really matter. I'll just say decorating and like putting up ornaments. You know, that whole process is a Christmas tradition.
Nice.
So, you know, the lights outside, lights inside.
Just if this was for a vote, I would
Ornaments.
try to get you to narrow it down. But like, are we decorating the tree? Are we just decorating everything?
We're just getting out all the supplies and we're going ham on the house, indoor and out.
In my mind, I'm picturing decorating tree. But I get what you're saying.
The full thing.
Decorating our bodies.
Not the bite of creme brulee. The full creme brulee.
What? Back to Evan for 2 picks in a row here.
2 picks. I'll go Christmas movie. I'm gonna pick Elf.
Good movie.
And Christmas gift as a kid. I'm gonna go Nerf guns.
You son of a biscuit.
All right.
I would love to just shoot you with a Nerf gun right now for taking that one. Back to Alex.
Yeah, I'll go movie.
Nope. I'm gonna throw up. I don't like when the movies. Then I feel like you're gonna take it.
I don't think you're going to take this one, but Christmas Vacation is my favorite.
Great
Christmas
movie. Great movie.
Watch it every year, man.
I feel like I've heard Evan talk about that movie several times. It's
That's
brought up
great.
every year, I think. It's a great.
Doesn't
movie.
get old.
Okay, so you guys' movies are done. I'm gonna go gift then. I'm gonna be that nerd. I was gonna go with a different one to show the jock in me, but if I'm being honest, what got me most jazzed is getting that fresh new Call of Duty.
I was going to say gaming consoles.
And then you just go on, just talk with the boys for like 2 hours, just playing the new maps. And like, what'd you get, man? And then your parents are like, hey, we're going to grandma's house. Log off. Like, all right, we're shutting it down, boys. Have a good 25th of December.
I'll be back on at 11.
And then you come back and you're like stuffed from eating. Then you get the little late night action.
Sweat out the duty until 4 a.m. You're like, so we doing this all break, boys, or
You
what?
just celebrate baby Jesus' birthday and then just go talk crap to teenagers online.
You got all the Christmas noobs who just got on Call of Duty that didn't get it in October. It's like fresh blood.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Now, my movie, I'll just get out of the way. Like I said, no one's taking my song. If you do, I'll fight you guys next time I see you. I'm just going to take the classic, The Grinch, the cartoon version.
That is a good one.
I like The Grinch, the cartoon version. And Nash kind of looks like the dog Max, and I just always warms my heart.
All right, to me. I'll go gift. When I was like from anywhere from age like 5 to like 12 or 13, I just loved getting jerseys, sports jerseys.
Pre-puberty
Got tons
years.
of them. Oh yeah, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey. A lot of Pistons jerseys, a lot of Lions jerseys.
Joey Harrington.
Oh yeah, have one.
Kevin
of those.
Smith.
Roy Williams, Kevin Smith. Yeah, Mike Williams.
I had a
Not the
Tony
current
Romo
one.
jersey.
I got a Chris Paul Hornets jersey one year. That was pretty cool.
Had a Chado Jocinco jersey.
I even have a Tom Brady jersey.
You're a Michigan man deep down. We know it.
I like Tom Brady. Not Michigan though.
Evan for 2 to finish out,
To
right?
finish out, song, I'm going to go Michael Bublé, Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas.
It's a good one.
Can you say the
Michael
artist's
Bublé kills
Can you
it.
say the artist's name again, Evan? I liked how you said
Michael Bublé.
it. Yes, that's really good.
Bublé.
Bublé.
And then Christmas food and drink, I'm going to go Boozy Eggnog. You spike it up a little bit and I'll get it going.
eggnog.
For the
You're gonna have to cut that. Holy. That sounded so bad. Oh god. That's gotta get cut. Don't forget to cut that.
for the uncultured of us, what is the go-to alcohol to make your spiked eggnog?
Oh, if you want to get really festive, you usually like sometimes you can do like a Christmas like themed like a little peppermint in there.
Peppermint schnapps.
Yeah. Or you just go straight up just regular whiskey or bourbon if you're really
Whoa.
desperate for
Are you
it.
that tough?
What are you,
drink
Jason
that?
Aldean? Is this Jason Aldean?
Well, if you're not doing it straight, you're putting it in with the eggnog. Eggnog's rich
You,
and thick and creamy, and so it kind of balances out.
Okay.
Just a little break from this draft. Do you guys like booze it up on Christmas or not really?
Depends on
Now
what
that I'm
mood I'm
of
in.
age,
Like, do you guys do something fun for Christmas? We already went through my awful Thanksgiving holiday experience. I don't know if your Christmas experiences are better or worse.
My Christmas experience were exactly the same as like Thanksgiving, just hang out with the family.
Evan, you froze for a second. Oh, he's back. Mine are pretty similar. Probably drink like I like to like dabble in a lot of types of alcohols for the holidays when I'm back home because there's more to my disposal. I like to mix in like a mixed drink to start because liquor before beer you're in the clear, and then
You don't drink beer.
some. I just held up a Blue Moon for those listening. Get bodied, Alex. So like a mixed drink, some wine later, and you just like I said, I'll repeat myself, mix it up. But yeah, pretty similar. I don't really like the NBA games.
It was
don't-
cool when the Pistons used to wear their red uniforms and they were good and played on Christmas. I used to like that.
I'm so young, I don't even remember those days.
So Evan, I think we're to your. Oh no, it's to me.
You wrapped up.
Yeah, I'm done.
To my song. I like all of the songs by this artist, but I had to pick one. So, "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" by Frank Sinatra. Huge Sinatra Christmas guy.
That's a man of culture right there.
Yeah, it just bellows through the house while you open presents. It's phenomenal.
Now, my last one then is song before we do honorable mentions, and it is before I say it.
Not your song.
Yeah,
It's your movie.
I already did my movie.
Oh, your movie was The Grinch.
Yeah.
I thought your song was
Wow,
the
that's
Grinch
not
song.
that's not good. No, that's not good for my movie. That must be pretty unforgettable.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
sorry,
it was.
pretty forgettable. So before I say the song, I'd like to personally plug my Spotify account. It's my first 2 letters of my first name, GR, and then my last name, Anschutz, which you can find on our social accounts. So Grandshoots, Spotify. It's just called Christmas, the playlist. 18 songs, 1 hour long. There's no skips on this playlist. You will not skip a single song. I have filtered out, because I don't really like Christmas music. I just like good songs that also relate to Christmas. So I've cut out all the BS songs that people listen to, like "Baby, It's Cold Outside." That song stinks. Get
Are
out
you
of here.
paying Evan and I for this ad?
This isn't an ad, but if people,
Just want to make sure.
if my account gets a bunch of fouls, I'll do something. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. All these songs stink. I got bops only on here, and this song is from there. Now it's not on Spotify itself, so you have to download it off of YouTube illegally. It is called "Our Love Is Like a Holiday" by Michael Bolton.
Are you gonna play it?
Don't all react at once, guys. Have you guys ever heard it?
I need you to play it.
Yeah, I'm terrible with like just knowing songs off the top of my head. So
Please play it.
Okay, let me. Either you gotta use my phone here, get it loaded up here. Let me get to the chorus for you guys.
This reminds me of Captain Jack Sparrow. Wow, it's quite the bop.
It's a great song. Yeah, you'll remember Michael Bolton from the Jack Sparrow Lonely Island. People forget that he has a great under the radar Christmas song.
Or people just don't know.
So that's that. That's the draft. Honorable mentions. I feel like with only 3 people, there's a lot of honorable mentions. Were there any that you almost said, but ended up going a different direction?
Home Alone, because I get compared to the actor in Home Alone quite a bit.
His lifestyle and yours match up too.
last Christmas I gave you my heart. Had to look up your profile. You know your Spotify. You just plugged it. Oh, Justin Bieber. You know, Drummer Boy should have been up there.
No, Drummer Boys stink, bro. That song stinks. But Rumpa Bum Bum your way out of here.
Rumpa Bum Bum. Die Hard. Christmas movie.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie. What's the definition of Christmas movie,
so I
Alex?
can't say.
Something to do with Christmas.
Okay, Die Hard involves the Christmas holiday.
Super underrated movie that I actually loved as a kid. Like favorite of all time. Mickey Christmas Carol. It's like Donald Duck is like the Scrooge and he like goes back. It's a great film. You should watch it. Polar Express, great movie as well.
Ooh, good one.
That was in there. When I sang hot chocolate, that's what
It is.
They break out in that choreographed routine on the bus.
Yeah, good movie.
Alex, you also
I don't
Alex
remember
remind me of like the know-it-all kid in the yellow sweatshirt in Polar Express.
Shut up.
Can you just give me a Hermie Shimers?
No, but did you guys know I saw the Polar Express in 4D?
No.
4D, not 3D. 4D.
Does that include like what's 4D? Just smells?
Feel it. I'm dead serious, dude. I saw it in Chicago.
Did Santa reach out?
Like when Santa whips his reindeer, there was like a little like thing in the back of our seats that like pokes you in the back. It feels like you get whipped. And then when it sounds crazy bad when you say it like that. But then when the train is like going and they show an outside view and all the like water and like mist comes up, sprays into the crowd.
So
They make hot chocolate.
You're just wet watching the Polar Express.
We're misted. And then they break out the hot chocolate. You can smell it.
And when the kid reaches in his robe and the pocket's gone, you feel a hand come down and touch your thigh too.
You know what? There's actually like little vibrators in the butt. That sounds so bad. Wow.
Hey, no!
What happened in Chicago?
Like there's like little things in your seat. So like when they drop the quarter, it feels like you dropped it in your seat. And like when you reach in your pocket and he like drops to whatever, I don't remember. He like drops something out of his pocket, you feel it in your seat.
This sounds like an hour and a half of like anxiety where like you don't know what's going to happen to you next.
It was pretty eye-opening. I mean, I was like 10, but when did the Polar Express come out?
Around then, I feel like.
No,
Where's our producer fat guy? Seth.
My other honorable mention for movie was Four Christmases. It's pretty solid because it's like a Vince Vaughn and she's like a famous actress. She's blonde. It was like a rom-com type deal, but it's pretty funny.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, I think it is Reese Witherspoon. Great call, Alex. It's a pretty good one. It's like the first hour is really good. It's like funny. It's not too sappy, so that's a good one to watch. Songs, like Evan mentioned, I like basically any of the traditional ones. You just remix it with the Ariana Grande version. Her voice is much better. It's more modern. Go with those.
You know, a lot of people gripe about the new style of Christmas music. A lot of people like the old stuff.
No.
Me, Frank Sinatra.
I will say this. If you want to go
Bublé
old,
does a great job, though.
If you want to go older, though, like this is almost cheating because it's more of like a pump up song in a way, is Bruce Springsteen, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. That will get you fired up for like a day of Christmas. It's so good. It's just like, it's like a rock song.
Did you guys, for traditions, I had one down. Did you watch the 25 Days of Christmas movies on like ABC Family when you were a kid?
No, miss me with that.
No.
Miss me with that?
I watch my own movies.
Who
I
are
don't
you,
need
a
to
TikTok loser star?
Bing bong.
Bing bong. Hard Hat Holiday, respectively.
You see these
Okay,
dogs in your front yard?
Yard.
Just know upstairs I'm going hard.
God.
We are a TikTok podcast.
Activity, which I think would kind of be cheating because it's just a winter activity, but sledding.
Sledding.
Reminds me of
Building
Christmas.
snowman. Jinx.
West Haven football.
Yep.
Deep
Might have to
cut.
bring it back this year.
I'd love to.
Let's get after it, Evan. Let's do it in your yard, Evan.
Okay, deal.
Because I don't know. Can we still go to West Haven?
Yeah, it's public.
Anybody that's ever played West Haven that listens to this podcast, send us a text if you want to play.
Yeah, Benny V lives in West Haven now.
All right. And we could all do fun 21-year-old plus stuff afterwards.
We could drink before West Haven, but then wait,
Whoa,
we'd be
dude,
stuck
don't
there.
tell people that.
During
Could be-
and after.
We'd be stuck there.
During, before, after,
Spike
the next day, the day before. We could do it every day.
The only other gift I had was a new baseball bat. That was a big thing. Getting
I
a
put
new
basketball hoops.
You got a damn court one year, I feel like.
Yeah.
I got a quarter court for the hoop one year, and then about 7 years before that, I got one of those like roller hoops. Like it was like filled with sand, so you can like move it around. Everyone had one. Well, Evan, you didn't. You had a in-ground one. You're a rich guy.
Yeah, totally, man.
What was your favorite gift you guys ever got, though? Not just like a stereotypical one. What was one you just actually loved that would go under the radar?
You know, Alex, I care about being with my family more often than actually the gifts that were underneath the tree. So
Shout out you for
it's
being a
not
great
about the
person.
presents underneath the tree. It's about the people around the tree that matters.
Okay.
If I
Keep
had to
telling
answer
yourself
it, ditto that. But if I had to answer the question, I would probably say like, I remember getting the first like little iPod, like a gray iPod, and then just having that much music at my disposal was life changing. My life's never been the same since.
One year, my sister and I got tubes, like tubing, like behind a boat, tubes, and we just sat in our new tubes while we opened gifts, like super cool kids. That was pretty awesome.
Is there video footage of this somewhere?
Oh
need
yeah,
to
my
see it.
dad records every Christmas morning, every single one. It's on our home video. You can watch it. It's
Dude, I need
Emily
to
and
see
I just chilling in our tubes, just opening gifts. I had a cooler tube, but I mean, I'm imagining you guys are picturing this. Probably looks pretty funny.
Like, I'm just picturing you guys sitting there and like
was
just
like
having to be
9,
handed your gifts because you can't get out of a tube. And like these,
Well, no. So Emily's
like
tube
you went and blew
was
them
like
up to like put them in
No,
your
they
living
were-
room.
Wow, this is when we still believe in Santa Claus. So it was like 9-ish.
Whoa,
9
dude!
years old.
People listen. They might not know that
Shut it.
stuff. Yeah,
And so Santa Claus blew the tubes up. So they were blown up when we came down there. And we're like, oh my God, look at these tubes. And mine was flat and hers had the big like hole in it. So she was like stuck in there, but I was like, on level ground.
okay. That's something.
Yeah,
That's something. That's memorable.
it was. I'm telling you guys right now about it 15 years later.
All right. Well, that's your Christmas talk. If anything else comes up Christmas-wise, we'll be sure to mention it. That's a show for the day as well. At this time, I'd like to plug our social accounts at ShotOfMS on everything. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. TikTok is Banana Lands. Banana Lands, there's like just heated debates between Ohio State and Michigan fans in our TikTok. So if you're ever bored and want to go like argue with kids online all day, that's the spot to go. Twitter is where you get more live stuff, like when we're watching games and whatnot. And Instagram, graphics and whatnot. But just follow those. You get different sides of the show, get clips and whatnot. and interact. That's where we're probably most respondent to people. And then how to listen: Apple Pods, Spotify, YouTube. Depending on the platform, we'd really appreciate if you subscribed, followed it, depending on the platform, 5 stars. And since it's the holiday season, maybe test out the old unsubscribe, resubscribe, unfollow, refollow type deal. Give us a new 5-star rating, boost those rankings up for us. That'd be a great gift to us. We would gladly accept that. And lastly, submit any questions you want answered at any point throughout the week. Emails, DMs, we'll see it. Replies to our tweets. Just, hey, I have a question about this. Could be anything. We could even, I know a podcast Alex and I listen to a lot is Ryan Russillo. If people have life advice, if you have things going on in your life that are keeping you down, if you're stressed about school, if you're stressed about whatever, just ask us. Like, we've been through it, we've seen enough in our 24 years.
Probably won't give good advice, but it
probably won't be good, but it'll be something. It'll give you some relief and relieve that anxiety you have. But just any questions, anything's fair game. With all that being said, cheers to close out episode 50. I think that flew under the radar because we had a good show, but episode 50. So we're halfway to 100, guys, and we're almost a full year. So episode 50, big one, the 5-0. Cheers to that, and to Alex, because I know he's going to be very excited for his favorite day of the year. No, not his
National
birthday.
Signing Day, baby.
National Signing Day on Wednesday, and that will be a topic on next week's show. A brief rundown of the classes.
Will be deep in the blogs this week for everyone.
What's the message board called again?
No free ads, Grant. Sorry.
No, what's it called though? It's a funny name, isn't it?
The Underground Bunker.
That's right. The Underground Bunker. Him, Joe Lenardi are going to be hanging out down there in Bunkerland, figuring things out.
Speaking of Joe Lenardi, cheers to Michigan State being 2-0 in the Big Ten and Michigan being a dumpster fire. Cheers.
Yep, that'll be addressed in a future show. That's a problem. There's something bad happening. Evan, any cheers from you outside of the normal?
Cheers to all the students going through finals weeks. Hope you get through it.
Oh, you guys want to do our midnight screams?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing a midnight.
All right, this will end the show. 3, 2, 1.